Hi guys, Scott with Kinetic Fitness to talk about flexibility, keeping certain muscles loose, and myofascial release, which is what these, that's the fancy word for what these foam rollers are for, which is different than regular stretching. This is actually closer to massage. And the reason that we get massage outside of relaxing type massages is to break up tension in that muscle. And it really has to do with collagen being built up in that muscle to a degree, and that the foam roller can break that up. And that's what deep tissue massage does. And the combination of this myofascial release or deep tissue massage along with regular traditional stretching is what's going to keep those muscles as loose as possible. And we have people with tight calves. We hear stuff about like shin splints and muscles that are seizing up on people or cramping up on people during runs and such. And some of that has to do with they're just too tight. And we try to have a lot of the range of motion type exercises you see when we're not adding any weight, doing the deep lunge or the overhead lunge. And that's all try to keep the muscle as loose and as functionally loose as it should be. But in addition to that, we really recommend that you use the foam roller. They're always here at the gym. If you're tight in certain areas, you can definitely walk in prior to the warm-up, do a little foam rolling, then do the warm-up, maybe even do a little after. We also, you can check them out. If you don't want to purchase one, you can check it out for however long you need it at the house. We have a sign-up sheet at the front desk. And then you can have it at home. And we recommend that people just buy one, even if you buy one of the 1.5-foot sections, and that way you have it at the house. And literally, we always recommend that you just do it while you're watching TV at night, and you can get a lot accomplished inside of a half hour, and if you have to, really inside of 10 minutes on a singular muscle group. But the question is, for a lot of people, they're not sure how to use them. So what we'll potentially do is make this a multi-part series, and we'll talk about the calves mostly today, because we have a lot of people running, getting ready for the runs, having just done the half marathon, and I'm hearing and seeing a lot more issues with the calf muscle. So in addition to your normal stretching, just to be sure with that, if you're following me over, with regular calf stretching, whether you're doing the stretch in the back with the leg, or if you're doing it against the surface like the wall, make sure you're doing two types of calf stretching, and that being just your straight leg and your bent leg. So when I'm stretching the calf with my leg straight, that locked knee or straight leg, I'm going to get more of a stretch in that top of the calf muscle, which is good. If they're both related, you need to do them both. And when I bend the knee, I'm still pushing the heel down. When I bend the knee toward the wall, now I have what we call a bent knee calf stretch. I'm getting the lower portion of the calf muscle, the soleus muscle, into the Achilles, and that has a little bit more direct relationship with heel pain, plantar fasciitis. Both parts of the calf are responsible, or can be responsible, but that lower calf, so that bent knee calf stretching is a little bit more important if you really had to decide between the two for time's sake which one you're going to do. So in addition to the regular stretching, then you have your foam rolling. And so for the foam rolling of the calf, what you want to do is we'll start with one calf at a time. I'm going to start with my left. So I put the Achilles of the left foot on top of the foam roller, and that other leg can go on top of that. Now depending on how sensitive the area is for you, you may be able to lift your hips up completely and slowly roll toward the knee. You don't need to go to the back of the knee itself, but you're going to take your time because you can miss them. Sometimes it's a small area that is quickly or missed easily if you go over it too quickly. So if it's a little bit more sensitive, some people, depending on what you've done recently, maybe you went on a hike or that side's just not working quite right. It's a little bit more sore. It's a little bit more bound up. Then you'll find that even just taking some pressure off the floor, your hips aren't actually off the ground, just a little bit of pressure, and you're like, wow, in certain spots that's painful enough. You don't have to, go through too much torture here. Just get some good massage in there, and it should be, if you have some problems there, there's going to be a little bit of pain for sure. So we start on the Achilles, and we start working our way up. Now if I find areas that seem a little bit more in need of it, a little bit more effective, I want to hang out a little bit more on those. So if I'm starting, we use a scale 1 to 5 often, where 1 hardly hurts at all, 5 I'm going through the roof. And so right here I have like a 1, maybe not even, and as I start to creep up just those extra couple inches upward, and now I'm in like a 3, 3.5. I want to hang out on that spot a little bit, attempt to relax my calf as much as possible so it can kind of mold into the foam roller and get that more like deep tissue massage type. I don't need the knee up and down. You see that sometimes, and that is a method. But sometimes we see that creates a little bit of inflammation that we don't need to add to the area. So I start working up the calf, and now I just went from that 3, 3.5 down to a 2 again, going up a little higher, 1, back up to a 2. So those aren't too bad. I'm going to go back to that hot spot And once I'm there, it's right there, and I'm not pretending to make that face. It's pretty sensitive. Now I can also check it outside. That's actually not as bad. And I can check it inside. And there's a moment on the way in that I would call that like a 4. And I want to hang out on that 4 for a little bit. Okay, my wife's laughing. So after I make that pass, I'm going to do the same thing with the other leg. You can check the muscles on the sides of the calf. This inner one is really hard to get to. In fact, you would do that with your thumb and maybe like a little bit of lotion or something like that. But this outer muscle here, your anterior tibialis, I can get that a little bit with the foam roller. And when you talk about people getting muscularly related shin splints, you know, you can get that a little bit. So now I'm kind of kneeling, but I'm kind of tilted off to one side because my shin bone is obviously right in the middle. So I need to get that muscle just off to the side. And now I can do a very similar thing. Look for those higher numbers. And when I find them, hang out for a little bit and keep making a pass between the knee and the ankle. Truly, there's no right or wrong way to use the foam roller. The only thing I want to stay off of is I want to stay off the back of the knee itself. If we were doing the upper body, I'd want to stay off the spine itself. I want to be careful with the rib cage area. A lot of pressure on those bones is sometimes not a good thing. But other than that, I'm basically searching and destroying. Right? I want to look for those areas that are a little bit higher number, a little bit more sensitive. If you don't have any tension in that area and you don't have any collagen buildup in that area, those muscle fibers will just move out of the way of the foam roller and you really don't have much sensitivity or pain. When you have a little bit more pain, not just sore muscle from the workout, but it always seems to be there, it's usually a sign of that tension or that collagen buildup, and that's what's going to break it up here. So the combination of the myofascial release with the foam roller plus your regular stretching is going to keep those muscles as flexible as they need to be so they can function the way they were supposed to be, and then you can work out hard and you can go on those runs and not get injured.